The main political event of the week in Kazakhstan was the state visit of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to Astana. But this was far more than a ceremonial trip filled with handshakes and protocol. From billion-dollar investment projects and new transport routes to defense, artificial intelligence, and what both sides called an eternal friendship, the talks revealed just how ambitious Kazakh-Turkish relations are becoming. Both leaders arrived with a packed agenda and a clear message. The partnership between Astana and Ankara is entering an entirely new phase. What the children had just chanted translates as "Welcome to the land of ancestors," a warm greeting that set the tone for the entire visit. From the very moment Recep Tayyip Erdogan's aircraft crossed into Kazakhstan's airspace, it was escorted by fighter jets of air defense forces all the way to Astana. The ceremonial atmosphere continued the following day at the Palace of Independence, where the leaders took part in the 6th meeting of the High-Level Strategic Cooperation Council. As Erdogan arrived at the venue, fighter jets once again appeared over the capital, this time leaving behind red and white trails across the city, mirroring the colors of the Turkish flag. The gestures did not go unnoticed. Erdogan thanked Kassym-Jomart Tokayev for the warm hospitality, while the Kazakh president pointed out, today both countries are taking another major step toward a stronger and brighter future of bilateral cooperation.
Türkiye iri investorlarımızın qatarına kiredi.
Turkey is among the largest investors in our country. To date, $6 million in investments from your country have been attracted into our economy. Kazakhstan investments in Turkey have also increased, approaching $2.5 billion. In addition, Turkey is among our top 5 trading partners. The cultural and humanitarian ties between our peoples serve as an invaluable bridge in our relations. We are interested in maintaining this positive trends and further expanding the scale of our cooperation.
Özara iqbaldaşlığımızdan ayasın kengeyte beruge müddelimiz.
Beyond the ceremonies and symbolic gestures, the talks in Astana were ultimately focused on something more practical: money, trade, and new opportunities. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev noted that Kazakhstan could increase exports to Turkey by more than $630 million across dozens of product categories. Agriculture is emerging as one of the fastest growing areas of cooperation. Trade in those goods jumped by more than 25% last year alone. Turkish companies are already investing in major projects across Kazakhstan, from gluten production to large greenhouse complexes. As global trade routes continue to shift, both sides are also betting on transport and logistics. Turkey's TAV Airports plans to turn Almaty into a major aviation hub for Central Asia, while Kazakhstan is inviting Turkish businesses to play a bigger role in developing cargo traffic along the Trans-Caspian corridor. AI, digitalization, energy, and mining were also high on the agenda. And in another sign of deepening industrial cooperation, Kazakhstan and Turkey signed an agreement to create a joint venture for the production and maintenance of unmanned aerial vehicles.
We exchanged views on a wide range of issues during our meeting, from trade to cooperation in fields of energy, defense, industry, transport, and logistics. We also discussed the global agenda. We reaffirmed our intention to increase bilateral trade turnover to $15 billion. To achieve this target, we consider it important to ensure the implementation of the 67-point action plan adopted at the 14th meeting of the Intergovernmental Commission on Economic Cooperation held in Astana on April 15th. We will continue to support companies in the field of investment. I believe that events such as today's business forum, which bring together the business communities of our two countries, are of a great importance for further deepening our trade and economic ties.
Enerji alanında işbirliği görüşmelerini değerlendirdiğimiz bir başka önemli konuydu.
And all these ambitions were ultimately cemented in a new political document. Following bilateral talks and the 6th meeting of the High-Level Strategic Cooperation Council, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev and Recep Tayyip Erdogan signed the Declaration on Eternal Friendship and Enhanced Strategic Partnership between Kazakhstan and Turkey, underscoring both countries' intention to deepen ties across virtually every sphere of cooperation.
Мәңгілік достық және кеңейтілген стратегиялық серіктестік туралы декларацияға қол қояды.
Later, the presidents were presented with a new package of joint investment projects worth nearly $1 billion, from a mining complex in the Abay region to logistics hubs and wheat processing plants. Turkish businesses are steadily expanding their footprint across Kazakhstan. Some projects may soon become visible to ordinary consumers as well. In the Turkestan region, Turkish investors are launching a modern production facility for dietary supplements, meaning made in Kazakhstan vitamins and health products could soon appear on pharmacy shelves. Altogether, the new initiatives are expected to create more than 3,000 jobs nationwide.
Today, we're witnessing steady growth in cargo transportation between our two countries. By the end of the last year, the volume of railway transportation increased by 35%, while road transportation grew by 5%. Our countries can be called a bridge firmly connecting East and West. We must make the fullest possible use of this shared asset. Therefore, together with the esteemed Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, we agree to enhance the potential of the Middle Corridor through the implementation of a number of projects. I believe this decision fully serves the interests of both nations.
The heads of state also exchanged opinions on the global agenda, expressing concern over the escalation of armed conflicts.
Біріккен ұлттар ұйымының рөлін күшейту, оның қарарлары мен жарғыларын қатаң сақтау.
We came to a common conclusion on the need to strengthen the role of the United Nations, strictly observe its resolutions and charter, ensure the supremacy of international law, and adhere to the principle of justice. We emphasize the need to resolve all disputes and conflicts peacefully through the diplomatic negotiations. Kazakhstan and Turkey will continue their cooperation within the international organizations. We will unite our efforts to ensure global stability and security.
Kassym-Jomart Tokayev awarded Recep Tayyip Erdogan the Order of Khoja Ahmet Yasawi, with the Turkish president becoming its very first recipient. And shortly after, the two leaders took part via video link in the opening ceremony of a new school bearing the same name of the great Turkic poet and philosopher in Turkey's Gaziantep province. The school was built on the initiative of the Kazakh president after the devastating earthquake that struck the region back in 2023. Today, in the town of Nurdagi, children will study in a modern education complex featuring laboratories, sports ground, an amphitheater, and even traditional Kazakh-style yurts. And perhaps this is what the newly signed Declaration on Eternal Friendship and Enhanced Strategic Partnership looks like beyond diplomacy and politics, support that remains long after the tragedy itself faded from the headlines. Yergali Ramazanule, New Time.